This is what iconic movies look like without the special effects. The behind-the-scenes footage that reveals the smoke and mirrors used to create movie magic. Before Johnny Depp's live-action courtroom drama, he and Orlando Bloom were fighting off zombie sharks on a sinking pirate ship. The only problem? Zombie sharks are hard to come by, so the Pirates of the Caribbean team made do with a hydraulic-powered boat, massive blue screen sets, and plenty of imagination. Tom Holland starred in the Uncharted video game remake, whose opening scene features a high-octane fall from a cargo plane without a parachute. You'd think Spider-Man could do his own aerial stunts, but wires, a giant hydraulic arm, and blue screens helped pull off the death-defying scenes. Don't even need real cars in movies anymore. This iconic scene from X-Men, Days of Future Past, has Quicksilver rushing in to save his colleagues from an explosion at 2,000 miles per second. To create this faster-than-sound sequence, filmmakers blended shots of Evan Peters running on a treadmill with rotating, slowed-down footage. The result was a slow-mo masterpiece. The magic is in the illusion. With creative practical effects, camera work, and a little movie magic, iconic scenes and characters come to life without fancy CGI or special effects. Strap in for a behind the scenes. Look at how imagination and ingenuity made these movie moments shine without modern tricks. You'll never watch these classics the same way again. Of course, pirate adventures aren't the only place to find movie magic made without digital enhancement. Another ingenious example can be seen in the opening scene of Uncharted, the 2022 action film based on the popular video game series. At the start of the treasure-hunting epic, audiences are treated to a high-octane sequence where young Nathan Drake falls out of a flying cargo plane without a parachute. Now you'd think with Tom Holland's experience as the web-slinging superhero Spider-Man, he'd be able to handle this kind of aerial stunt work himself. But to achieve the jaw-dropping effect and keep its stars safe, the production team used a variety of practical solutions. Relying on wires, a giant hydraulic arm, and a meticulously positioned camera, they were able to create the illusion of a freefall without putting the lead actor in real danger. For a scene designed to take your breath away on screen, not a single special effect was required once the cameras started rolling. While we're on the topic of using camera trickery to capture death-defying stunt work, another brilliant example can be seen in X-Men, Days of Future Past. One of the most talked about scenes from the 2014 superhero flick features fan-favorite character Quicksilver using his super speed abilities to save the day. As a massive explosion threatens his fellow mutants, he springs into action, moving faster than the human eye can see to get everyone to safety. Depicting a character who can run at speeds over 2,000 miles per second would seem impossible without CGI, right? Not for this creative crew. The filmmakers cleverly combined shots of actor Evan Peters running on a slow-moving treadmill with other slowed-down footage captured on carefully designed rotating sets. By tracking his movements with precision and enhancing the playback, they were able to achieve the fantastic visual effect of superhuman speed. No green screen is required, just good old-fashioned analog techniques and camera work. Of course, it's not just about achieving over-the-top action through practical movie magic. Sometimes sets and costumes can even transform the actors themselves into supernatural characters without visual effects. Take the classic X-Men films as another example. While today's superhero flicks have the luxury of using CGI to bring mutations and powers to the screen, early entries like 2000's X-Men had to rely purely on makeup, prosthetics, and acting. To transform Ian McKellen into the heroic yet terrifying metal-clad mutant Magneto, the special effects masters used foam, latex prosthetics, and intricate costumes custom designed for the sets and lighting. For Mystique's shape-shifting blue form, actress Rebecca Romijn spent hours getting painted head to toe in blue makeup and silicone prosthetics. And to bring the telekinetic Jean Grey to life, it was all up to actress Famke Janssen to make her psychic powers seem real through her performance alone. Through creativity and analog techniques, they brought these iconic comic characters to life without a single computer-generated effect. Sometimes the most thrilling scenes don't require visual trickery, because the stunt work itself is so precisely choreographed and executed. Take John Wick, Chapter 3 as a prime example. This sequel raised the action ante by introducing the ruthless assassin's world of knives, guns, and fists to the open streets. Filming on location in New York City, one of the most memorable sequences sees Keanu Reeves' titular hitman tearing through the urban jungle on a motorcycle. What appears to be choreographed chaos is actually carefully rehearsed mayhem involving choreographed stunt drivers and extras. With stunt professionals executing bone-crunching throws and falls, and real motorcycles staged for collisions and crashes, the production team was able to achieve hyper-realistic action. The finished scene immerses the audience in the brutal stunt work, thanks to cameras positioned to follow the fights from every angle. The only digital enhancement needed? Painting out safety harnesses in post. Practical effects and real steel bikes provided all the action that viewers could handle. But it's not just legendary action stars like Keanu Reeves upping the real stunt ante. Some of today's biggest actors go the extra mile to create authentic action magic with good old-fashioned physical performance skills too. Take Tom Cruise, who is famous for insisting on doing many of his own most death-defying stunts and set pieces. In Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, one unforgettable sequence sees Ethan Hunt scaling the outside of the world's tallest skyscraper, Dubai's Burj Khalifa. While green screen would be easier for most actors, Cruise trained extensively for the authentic exterior climbing shots. Strapped into a safety harness 130 floors up, he brought the incredible sequence to life through sheer daring and skill. When the footage was enhanced by using expert camera angles shot from helicopters and inside the tapered tower looking down, the heart-pounding effect needed no further visual effects. Simply combining a brave star and clever cinematography to produce heart-pounding thrills resulted in the epic scene. But practical stunt work and camera tricks aren't the only ways to transport an audience into movie magic without CGI. For historical and fantasy epics, detailed in-camera special effects and intricately built sets can make the imagined feel real. Just look at big-screen classics like Braveheart, Ben-Hur, and Gladiator. These films brought major historical battles to life by using gigantic practical sets constructed outdoors and flooded with thousands of costumed extras. When filming the climactic Battle of Braveheart, for example, they staged the bloody combat in a Scottish field using over 1,300 extras in period warrior garb and handmade weapons. Combined with intricately choreographed stunts and explosions rigged across the sprawling landscape, the crew was able to capture devastating medieval war sequences without any digital enhancement required. Through in-camera verisimilitude, sweeping practical sets, and good old gritty action filmmaking, Hollywood was once able to craft truly transportive worlds. The same principles of analoged world building are applied in fantasy as well. Just look behind the scenes of The Lord of the Rings, which built life-size villages, fortresses, and castle sets atop picturesque New Zealand mountains. Every intricately carved archway and mossy brick was meticulously crafted based on author J.R.R. Tolkien's detailed literary descriptions to create a completely immersive experience. Costume designers forged chainmail by hand, and aging teams gave every prop years of wear and tear so Middle-earth would feel lived in. Same with the prosthetics teams, who used pioneering makeup techniques to transform actors into creatures like orcs and goblins without CGI motion capture. Audiences were transported because these filmmakers strive to make the fantastical feel real through practical effects and world building. No green screen can replicate that tangible magic. But some characters are just too big for even the most elaborately constructed sets. That's when mechanical effects and animatronics can come in to create movie magic without resorting to computers. Let's go back again to the original Jurassic Park, which revolutionized practical creature effects in 1993. To build life-size, moving dinosaurs that actors could interact with, special effects, legend Stan Winston and his team engineered sophisticated animatronics. Using robotic systems of hydraulics and pulleys hidden under foam latex skin molds, they were able to create puppets that breathed, blinked, and moved their heads and limbs to react to performers' movements. During filming, the actors responded to the mechanical co-stars as if they were living creatures to create organic and believable scenes. No ping-pong balls for motion capture are required. Through groundbreaking mechanics and puppeteering, the dinosaurs felt tangibly present on set. Its pioneering blend of analog effects forever changed film, proving with ingenuity and mechanics that anything can be brought to life without CGI. But animatronic creatures and props weren't only used to depict prehistoric beasts. Mechanical effects allowed storytellers to breathe life into all manner of imaginative characters, including extraterrestrials. Just look at Ridley Scott's original Alien film, which revolutionized sci-fi horror in 1979 by creating one of cinema's most singularly terrifying creatures. To design the nightmarish xenomorph killing machine, artist H.R. Geiger created biomechanical designs that were brought to life by a 7-foot-tall, 7-foot-tall humanoid animatronic. Built using an intricate internal skeleton, sliding pistons, and flexible silicone skin, this puppet could crawl, move its head, extend its second jaw, and convulse as if in pain. Watching the xenomorph come to life through machinery gave the actors real scares to react to. No wonder Sigourney Weaver's terror feels so raw and visceral. The alien truly was there in the flesh, thanks to a masterpiece of analog design and engineering. Without a pixel of CGI, this pioneering practical effects work showed the infinite creative potential of in-camera filmmaking. But you don't need huge mechanical monsters to create a sense of magical realism through practical movie effects either. For fantastical stories, inventive tricks allowing actors to interact with the physically impossible can be just as transportive. Consider the endearing love story, Big Fish, which Tim Burton directed in 2003. In one memorable scene, the characters encounter a peculiar village nestled in the trees, whose residents all float like balloons, using only umbrellas to steer through the sky. How did they achieve such whimsical beauty without digital wire removal or green screen magic? Through clever costume design, of course. Dressed in chimney sweep-style suits, the actors wore mechanical rigs under their clothes, attached to wires that suspended them above the elaborate treetop set. Hidden out of the frame, riggers would hoist and steer them while crew members bounced the umbrellas with long poles to mimic floating. It created an utterly convincing and imaginative world with only cameras and costumes. Burton's trademark fantasy was all achieved in camera with creative practical effects. These examples demonstrate that those who dare to dream big and develop creativity through their hands have always created true movie magic. Whether it be by depicting incredible action feats, creating immersive fantasy realms, or bringing imaginative characters to life. So the next time you watch your favorite cinematic moments, remember that long before CGI dominated our screens, directors and crews were making the impossible possible using little more than raw ambition and analog ingenuity. Through clever illusions, camera trickery, and a willingness to build real sets and attempt treacherous stunts, they pioneered techniques that forever raised the bar on filmmaking. The iconic scenes we love may use cutting-edge visual effects today, but all great cinematic storytelling begins with visionaries who aren't afraid of rolling up their sleeves and making movie magic the old-fashioned way.